Hi guys, welcome back to the channel again. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to work on a dark skin model or client. We're going to be creating a dewy finishing on my model today. To start with, I'm going to be cleansing her face as usual and then hydrating with the Danasamaric hydrating oil and the Glow Recipe moisturizer, and then I'm going in with the milk hydrating spray, which is very important in this look. And then I'm going in again with my foundation, the Sephora foundation. Now when creating a dewy finishing, you should be leaning towards hydrating products, moisturizing products. You have no business with a mattifying product at all. Moving forward, I'm going to be using the Kevin Aquan concealer in shade 14 on the under eyes and the necessary areas. Now when working on a dark skin or any skin tone at all, you have to check for their undertone. You have to be able to detect the right undertones to use on their skin. Like my model right here, she has a tint of redness in her undertone, and that is why I'm going in with a concealer that has a red undertone. There's absolutely no reason for me to use a concealer or a powder or a foundation that has a yellow undertone or looks ashy. There's no reason for me to do that. Moving forward, I'm going to be using this ZK Cosmetic powder palette. I love this powder palette because it has so many shades and it's actually very good. As you can see, it's blending seamlessly with my model's skin tone. Now because we're going for a dewy finish, I'm really light-handed with my powder application. If you apply too much powder, it's going to defeat the purpose of your dewy finishing. Now I'm going to be contouring her face with a mixture of the ZK powder and a dark eyeshadow. Yes, a dark eyeshadow. So I always use this technique when I'm working on a very deep dark skin tone because I want the contour to be prominent. So this also applies to when I get to meet clients or models that have pink undertones. I have to mix my blusher to get and my powder to get their undertones correctly. Because as a makeup artist, you can't really buy all shades. It's not possible. Even the best makeup artists don't buy all shades. So you should be able to at least walk around with the product you already have to achieve the best results on every client or model that you get to work on. Now I'm going to be setting her face with the Huda Beauty setting powder. Now what does a setting powder do? A setting powder minimizes the appearance of oil around that area. It gives a smooth finishing and then it also allows your makeup to last longer. So because we are doing a dewy finishing does not mean that we want that area or the entire makeup to look oily. That's not the point. Dewy makeup is not oily makeup. We also want this makeup to last long. Moving on to brows, I'm going to be using this black pencil to outline her brows, and then I'm going to be using the Davis pencil in shade 20 just to create hair-like strokes on her brows. I'm going to be doing the same exact thing I did for the first brow to this same brow. Now before you draw your brows, make sure that you set that area because the brow area or the T-zone area gets really oily, especially when the person has a very oily skin. Now after drawing your brows, we're going to be concealing, and after concealing I'm also going to be setting the concealer with a setting powder. This is very important. You can also use your regular pressed powder to set the area as well, but I prefer using a setting powder. For contouring her nose, I'm also going to be using the same technique I use in contouring her face for the nose as well. Now I'm going to be doing the eye look. I'm going to be using the concealer as my eyeshadow base. Now when applying your concealer, you have to blend it very well. The thing is, once your concealer or your eyeshadow base is not well blended, your eyeshadow is going to crack. So everything starts from the foundation, just the way you have to have a very good skin prep before you can apply your foundation. So it starts from the bottom. Now I'm using this Beauty Bay eyeshadow. First of all, I'm just building up that color because we're going to be using pigment on our eyes. So if you want your pigment to pop, you have to apply a dark or a brown eyeshadow and it's going to pop. The pigment I'm using is from She Glam Cosmetics. It's a liquid pigment that dries matte. It's actually very good. I've had it for a while now, but I've never used it, and so I said, okay, let me use it today and see how well it plays out. I mean, what's the essence of doing content creation or shoots if you can't practice or use products that you would normally not use in your everyday work? To be honest, videos are not doing justice to how this pigment was sparkling. I was actually very surprised. I actually felt like, why have I not been using this on my clients? It looked really good. It was so easy to blend and it dried matte. Like, in fact, it was so good. Just take my word for it. And it's also quite affordable. I went further to complete the rest of the eyes off camera, and then I'm just dusting off the under eyes and making sure that everything is looking really neat with the same powder that I used earlier on for the under eyes. I also went off camera to apply the lip, and then I'm just using the same black pencil I used for the brows to reemphasize the lining on the lips. After applying the lip product, I went back in with my blush, my contour, and make sure that everything is well blended. And then I'm going to be spraying the Mario Badescu setting spray, and then going in again with the milk hydrating spray. These steps are very important. You can see my mother, I literally drenched her. And then I'm going to be drying the sprays in, and now I'm going to be using my brush just to push in the product and remove any excess shine from the sprays. Now you can use your beauty blender, but I prefer using my brushes. I really love working with brushes. Now I'm going to be using the Donna Samaric's Dewy Wet Balm on her skin. I feel like when you apply powdered or pressed highlighter on deep dark skin, it looks really ashy. So thank goodness for these balms because they really work. And also because we're going with a dewy finish, we're creating a dewy finish, this is just the right thing to do because it gives a really healthy and seamless glow. Now I'm going to be blending and making sure that there are no lines at all, because when you use these wet balms there's more like a demarcation. So I'm just doing that and making sure that everything looks really blended and seamless. This is not a fast process, it takes time. Finally, I'm going in with my Glimpse Melanin spray to finish up the entire look and to lock in that makeup so it lasts longer. Guys, I'm leaving Kenny to do his thing. Kenny is styling the hair, and can you see that skin? I hope you learned one or two from this makeup tutorial. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video. I am going to be posting more content, and this is the finished look, guys. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Bye.